Shidim, Neninggude Emigiraminam. Welcome to Sumerian Language Lesson 2. In this lesson, we're going to learn singular pronouns, the singular forms of the verb to be, vocabulary on occupations, and then construct a few simple sentences in Sumerian. We're going to start with the singular pronouns in Sumerian. These are the subject pronouns that you would use when referring to yourself, to the person to whom you're speaking, and to somebody else. So the word for I or me in Sumerian is ngai. Ngai. This word may be a little difficult for English speakers to pronounce because it starts with the ng sound. This is the sound in the middle of the English word singer, for example. In English, we don't have the ng sound at the start of words, but in Sumerian you can. So the word is ngai, ngai. The word for you is zai, zai. Zai can only refer to one person to whom you're speaking. We'll learn about plural pronouns in a later lesson. For a third person, he or she, the word is ane, ane. In Sumerian, there's no distinction based on gender, so there's no difference between he and she in the pronouns. It's just ane, no matter to whom you're referring. Now we'll learn the singular forms of the verb to be. The verb to be in Sumerian is me, me. To be operates a little bit differently than most other verbs in Sumerian. It is added as a suffix at the end of the sentence. So when you're saying, I am such and such, you would say, I such and such, and then add the ending appropriate for that person. So for the first person, I, ngai, the form is men. For the second person, it's also men. So when I'm referring to myself or to the person to whom I'm speaking, I would attach men at the end of the sentence. For the third person, the suffix is in most instances. If the object ends in a vowel, you can drop the sound of and just add the letter m on the end. So to give a few examples, first we'll need to learn a couple of vocabulary words. These are words for two occupations in Sumerian. In the description below, there'll be a listing of about 20 total vocab words for different occupations. So you can look up and see what occupation might match yours most closely. So the two vocab words we're going to learn in this video are the word endub, endub, which means a cook or a chef, someone who cooks food for a living, and the word nukiri, nukiri, which means a gardener. So if I wanted to say I am a cook, I would say I, and then cook, and then add the appropriate ending form of the verb me. In this case, because I'm talking about myself, it would be men. So the sentence would be ngai endub men, ngai endub men. If I was talking about you and I wanted to say you were a cook, I would say zai endub men. This operates the same no matter what occupation or what noun you're using in place of endub. So I could say ngai nukiri men, which means I am a gardener, ngai nukiri men, or zai nukiri men. When using the third person, it gets a little bit more complicated. So if I wanted to say she is a cook, I would say ane endubam, ane endubam. However, if I wanted to say she is a gardener, because gardener nukiri ends in a vowel, I could drop out the a, and instead of saying ane nukiriam, I could say ane nukirim. Both of these are equally correct. So that's it for lesson 2. Hopefully now you can construct some simple sentences. And if you look down below and find an occupation that either is your job or is one that sounds cool, you can tell me what occupation you do in the comments below. Silim!